What's up, everyone? Okay, so my last video was a DIY video and I got like a really good response and viewer turnout for that one, so I figured, okay, you guys want to see more DIY stuff. So this time I am going to show you how to do a hair wrap. I know you go somewhere Caribbean-y on vacation and people pay a ton of money to have these done, like with feathers, whatever, and I'm going to show you how to do just like a really basic one. But I figured why not, because embroidery floss is pretty cheap and you can add some beads and do braiding, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to do like a kind of funky one and show you guys everything that I know how to do with regards to hair wraps, because I just booked a vacation and I am super excited and just in like a tropical beachy mood. So I'm going to show you guys how to do a hair wrap. So first of all, you want to make sure that your hair is super 100% dry. So I am going to do sort of a less obvious area just because I have a job where I work in an office, so I don't really want it, you know, just like sort of on the top here. So I'm picking a chunk of hair underneath here, and I have read online that it should be no thinner than like the diameter of a pencil, so if you just think about it like that. But I also want to pick one where it's going to be fairly long, but that's hard to do underneath, but that's okay. So I'm going to take this piece of hair and separate it, and I'm going to put the rest of my hair up because it is going to get in your way, and I have a lot of hair and it's very thick and I do not want this here. So now I'm going to take this chunk of hair that I've chosen to do for my wrap, and I'm going to braid it very tightly, just in a little braid here as if we're crimping it. And I want to make sure that it's very, very tight. And also, I've done a hair wrap like this before, so I want you guys to know that this is going to just be permanently crimped for a while. It's going to take quite a few showers to get that out, just so you're aware. So I'm going to stop talking now so that I can time-lapse this video in 3, 2, 1. Okay, now it's getting pretty difficult to braid here at the bottom, so I'm just going to stop. I've got a little bit left down here, but that's okay. And I'm going to grab a hair tie. And we will be on to the next step here. And again, when you're putting in the hair tie, you want to put this in super, super tight also so that the braid doesn't come loose while you're working. Okay, so I read a couple of articles and watched a couple of videos and did a little bit of research before I did this video, and general consensus around the internet is that you should pick, excuse me, your floss should be 3 times the length of the hair that you're wrapping. And I guess if you're doing more colors, it could be a little bit shorter, but even though I'm doing 4 colors, I am going to stick with that general rule. So these are the 4 colors that I've chosen, and I've laid out the order that I want to use them in ahead of time because I want the orange like at the bottom here where it's going to stick out the most and be the most visible, and you'll see it with the blonde more so. So these are the colors that I'm using. I've already measured. I didn't measure precisely, I just measured my hair. I didn't like then figure out how much it is, but I laid it up against my MacBook cover, and that's 13 inches, and it was just about that. So mine's 13 times 3, 39 inches. So now I'm going to, bear with me, attach this to my hair, and you're going to want to tie this all the way up here and double knot it and just make sure it's very secure and as high up there as you possibly can get it. And then after you tie the knot, obviously you have like a little bit of extra string here that you needed to make the knot. And we're going to make sure that when we begin our wrap that we cover that up and tuck that in just with the braid. This is really hard to do without a mirror, even though I'm kind of looking right in my camera here. Okay, so I did a double knot. I guess you could do a triple knot, but I'm really struggling here, so I want to get on with the game here. And if you can, my braid is a little tiny bit loose, at least loose enough where I can kind of tuck these strands through the braids so that they're just more connected, because as I get going on my wrap, I may not be paying the utmost attention to it. Okay, it's kind of in there. So I had already decided that I wanted to start with this cobalt blue way at the top here. So I'm going to separate that one, and I'm going to hold the rest of my floss super tight to the braid, and I'm going to start to wrap. I have to go do this part in the mirror now. Sorry, guys. Okay, we're back up and running. So I did just about as much as I want to be blue here, and you can see my blue strand here is just about long enough to get tucked back in here with the rest and fit kind of all the way down. You want it to be, you know, secure so that the blue part doesn't unravel. So I'm going to start with my next color, and I will be back after that to show you what I did. Hi. Okay, so now I have a pretty solid purple area going, and so I took a little shell that was from a bracelet that I had that broke, and I just threaded it right on, and I'm going to keep wrapping and make sure that I have that part in the front with the shell. Okay, so you'll see that I added a couple more shells here. Now I'm done with my purple area, and I decided that I'm going to go solid with the blue at the top, and then the purple and the green are going to have shells, and then the orange is just going to be solid at the bottom. So now I'm going to move on to my green section. Okay, so now I've also done my green with the shells, and I'm going to move on to the very last one, which is my orange. Okay, so now what I found is that I'm kind of running out of orange here at the bottom, so I did something that I thought about doing earlier, which was blend in kind of more of a golden sunflower yellow, and I'm just going to tie this on just like I did at the top and finish it off here. Okay, and so now I just tied two of the threads that were two of the longest ones together at the bottom in a double knot and took the hair tie out. And this will blend in more as, you know, you wash your hair and it gets worn in. And here I'm going to take my hair down and show you guys how it looks with everything else. And right now it's a little bit stiff, obviously, because I just put all the thread in, but looks just how I wanted it. I've got my dark at the top and then the rest of my bright colors at the bottom with my hair, and then I do have a little bit of my hair sticking out at the bottom. You could try to do as much of that as you want, but I find it gets a little bit difficult, and then you have hair sticking out because obviously at the bottom all of your hair is not the same length. So that is that. That's how it looks. And then obviously it'll get less stiff as you wash your hair, and then it'll be easier for you to kind of put up. It'll get more malleable, and like some of your hair is going to peek out, and I would say it lasts for a couple of weeks. It'll probably depend from person to person on how well it stays in and how thick your hair is and how tight you really have it braided in there. But that is that. That is how you do a hair wrap, and I hope you guys enjoyed it and have some fun with this, because if you hate to go have it done somewhere, it's probably going to be really expensive, and embroidery floss is not really an expensive thing to just buy for yourself and pick out the colors that you want. And I just had these beads, like I said, little shells from a bracelet that broke. So great way to reuse them and give it more of like a beachy summery look. So that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.